Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are going to talk about the Scrum values because they are also the foundation of the Scrum. So, let's try to explore that in the Scrum framework where these values are. So, in the last lecture, in the last video, we talked about high level Scrum framework and we talked about the Scrum theory, empiricism, transparency, inspection, and adaptation. And then link to that video will be provided in that description of this video. But in this today, we are going to talk about the values, the commitment, focus, openness, respect, and courage. These are the five values, and there is a reason that know why they lie below in on this picture because they are the foundation along with this scrum theory of empiricism and lean thinking, along with the three pillars that we talked about for transparency, inspection, and adaptation. Now we will be talking about these five values: commitment, focus, openness, respect, and courage. And at the end of it, if you'll see that if we are following the scrum theory of empiricism and lean thinking, we know that these three pillars, transparency, inspection, and adaptation, are important from that perspective. And then, if we follow all the five values: commitment, focus, openness, respect, and courage, that would yield to trust. And trust is must in an organization to be able to achieve success. So, let's try to explore what is this. These are the five Scrum values. So, what we say is successful use of Scrum depends on people becoming more proficient in living these five values. So once we try to achieve that, no, once we try to see that what are those five values, the five values are commitment, focus, openness, respect, and courage. These values are foundation of team formation and team's attitude. Once we live in these values, as I said earlier, it will yield to trust. And once we trust each other, that is where we say that we are a high performing team. It's a change in mindset for everyone in the enterprise. We'll have to live with these values, and to live this value, it's a change in mindset that organization should adapt. Scrum relies mainly on these values, and that becomes a major reason why organization fails to implement agile because of lack of these values. So if we have started agile without even understanding the foundation of these three pillars and five values, that is where some of the organization fails to implement agile. So let's try to explore what are these values in detail. Commitment. The Scrum team commits to achieving its goal and to support each other. That's the first value. Wherein commitment is to achieve the goal, that is basically important for the customer, and to support each other. Remember my saying that I continuously keep on saying that the focus and attention should be on customer as well as on the team on the ground who is working to produce value of that product to the end customer. So customer and the team. So that's what where we see that no Scrum team commits to achieving its goal. Goals are important for the end customers. That's the reason they are in the center of the discussion, and to support each other. So basically, it's important that while building the team, we support each other. So that's the commitment that we need in a Scrum team. So that's a change in the mindset, commitment towards the goal and commitment towards supporting each other. Now we'll look into details of each and every ceremony of this sprint that know what we talk about, because questions generally are asked to me that you talk about commitment, but what are those commitments with respect to all the sprints, all the ceremonies of the sprint? So let's try to explore that. During sprint, what happens during the sprint? Sprint is the overall container wherein all the sprint ceremonies or events are kept or are performed, which is a 2 to 4 weeks time box. And let's try to understand that in the sprint, what is the commitment from product owner, scrum master, and scrum team overall. So product owner is committed to groom, refine stories with development team for upcoming sprint. That's basically we are talking about the refinement, the sprint refinement or so-called grooming, wherein he is committed that I will spend my time and energy to groom and refine these stories with the team for the upcoming sprint. He is also committing to clarify any functional impediments in the current sprint. If in the current sprint that team is executing, which they have committed for a sprint goal, they have signed up for some of these stories. If they come across any functional impediment, that's the commitment from product owner. So if you are one of the product owner listening to this video, that's the commitment that is needed to make the team successful, that you clarify the impediments during the sprint for the current sprint if team is facing any, and for the upcoming sprint you commit to groom refine stories with the development team. And let's try to explore what are the commitments from the scrum master during the sprint. Scrum Master during the sprint is committed to act as servant leader, and nowadays in the latest Scrum guide it is changed to true leader. So act as a servant leader or true leader and coach to help team during the sprint for all these ceremonies. It is, remember, if you are one of the Scrum Master listening to this video, that concept of boss or bossism is gone. It's like true leader, coach, servant leader who is helping the team to run faster, to remove all the impediments. So another commitment from the Scrum Master is to help the team to clear all the impediments as soon as possible. So that's a basic commitment from the Scrum Masters. And let's say that these are the two commitments that we have seen from product owner and the Scrum Master. Let's try to see that know what are the commitment from the Scrum team. Scrum team is committed to work in collaboration with product owner and Scrum Master. So it's not like Scrum Master is not seeing as a, a manager or a boss directing team and just asking for a status. And product owner is not seeing just a business stakeholder who should whom we should keep happy even by doing gold plating. No. The commitment is that we if you are the Scrum team, then your commitment is that we'll work in collaboration with the product owner and Scrum Master and combine together as a part of development team, product owner and Scrum Master makes the Scrum team. So it's one Scrum team working together in collaboration with each other. What is the other commitment from the Scrum team? To do everything possible to achieve sprint goal during the sprint. So there are questions about this that no, once team has committed the sprint goal, they'll have to achieve it. There is nothing called they have to achieve it. Because if you see that we have so many ceremonies that time over time we are discussing what we are doing, what are the impediments we are facing, and burn down chart also shows the predictability of where we are heading. So it's not about commitment to the sprint goal that we'll have to meet it. Yes, it's a commitment to the sprint goal that we will do everything possible from our side to achieve the sprint goal. So that's basically the commitment from the team. Now we will go ahead and discuss in detail about each ceremony. That we'll talk about all the 4 or 5 ceremonies that we have, and we'll say that what are the commitments in those ceremonies. During sprint planning, what are the commitments from all the stakeholders during the sprint planning? So product owner is committed to reorganize and reprioritize the product backlog and present to the team. The product backlog based on either feedback from the end customers during the sprint review or the demo, or when product owner is talking sideways with the stakeholders and the customers to take the feedback during the sprint. His commitment is to reorganize and reprioritize the product backlog. So it's basically a living document. And what we are expecting is that every time that the product owner is coming to the sprint planning, he has gone through the product backlog, reorganized and reprioritized to produce maximum value in the upcoming sprint. So it's a continuous work that a product owner has to have to do. and to have the PBIs ready. PBIs I've talked about, these are product backlog items in terms of epics, story, features, enablers, tasks, defects, whatever it is. So to have the PBIs ready for the dev team. Ready for the dev team, again, ready comes from the word that no team is able to refine those PBIs. Team is able to understand those PBIs. So that's the readiness that Scrum Master or the product owner is committed to. So these are the high level commitments from the product owner during the sprint planning. Let's try to see what are the commitments from the Scrum team. So Scrum team, it's not only the commitment from the product owner, because when we commit together, everybody is committing to something in each of these ceremony. That's where it becomes and it makes the high organized, highly performing team. The Scrum team is committed to provide best estimates for the PBI selected for the sprint. Of course, we'll talk about the detailed estimation process later in my video of sprint planning, but they are committed to provide best estimates. There is nothing that we are hiding because everybody, even product owner, Scrum Master, Scrum team, everybody is attending the sprint planning, and we are discussing that in detail. So, Scrum team is committed to provide best estimate and to provide a forecast for upcoming sprint. It's not, as I have told you earlier also that the Scrum team is the one who pulls the work from product backlog to sprint backlog, right? So along with that, they forecast a detailed plan to Scrum Master and the product owner that how are they planning to achieve that sprint goal and the stories or the PBI items committed in the sprint backlog. The last commitment is that they will do their best to complete the forecast for the upcoming sprint. Remember that no, I'm not saying commitment here. I'm focusing mainly on the forecast. So that's a forecast. Sprint goal is a forecast. Sprint goal has to be achieved. And that's what the Scrum team will do everything possible from their side to meet the sprint goal. So basically, we will do our best. That's the commitment from the Scrum team during the sprint planning. And let's see that what are the commitments from everybody during the sprint review or the demo, which is presented to the customer. During sprint review, or demo, so-called demo, stakeholders are committed to provide true feedback to Scrum team for product increment. So that's basically the commitment. If you are one of the stakeholders listening to this video, then that's a commitment from the stakeholders that once you review the product increment, you see the working product during the sprint review, you provide a true feedback to the Scrum team so that they understand, what is the value needed and what they have to improve in the upcoming sprint. So stakeholders are committed for that. And let's see that what are the commitments during the sprint retrospective. Scrum team is committed to prioritize and pick up at least one improvement item for the next sprint. We are doing the retrospective, and most of the times we have seen that no retrospective is not adding value, or the team is not attending the retrospective, or some either product owner, Scrum Master, or the Scrum team, the development team is not attending the retrospective. The reason behind that is that either Scrum Master is not able to efficiently plan and execute this retrospective, or team is not seeing value out of this retrospective. So committed to prioritize and pick up at least one improvement item. So improvement items, if discussed, that should not we should not leave those improvement items there. We should be committed to at least pick up one, if not more, improvement item that we will try to improve as a team for the next sprints. That's the commitment during the retrospective for the team. So after going through all the ceremonies and talked about the commitment, it should be clear. So knowledge check. Let's try to see that what we have learned from this. Go ahead and read this question and try to absorb the answer. Question is, what actions demonstrate the commitment of Scrum team members? Do your best. Help the other Scrum team members. Always deliver sprint goal no matter what. Always complete the stories in the estimated time. I'm giving you some time to think about it. The answer is the commitment can be to do your best, or to help others. Commitment cannot be that always deliver the sprint goal. There will be circumstances, no matter what. There would be circumstances wherein you are facing the impediments and a sprint goal may or may not get delivered. So that's a forecast that we try our best to meet the sprint goal, but always deliver a sprint goal or always complete the stories in the estimated time. The time estimation, which we'll discuss later in the detail in the sprint planning video, that this is basically a relative estimate that team is coming up in front of everyone. Whether all these stories will be completed in the estimated time may or may not be. That cannot be a commitment. Team members should not be held accountable that no, why you have not, when you have estimated this story, why you have not completed the story in the estimated time. It may get lesser time or it may get a little more time. And it's not only that in this process is not transparent. If it is supposed to get more time, there are reasons for that, that why it is happening, why team was not able to think about that, and they demonstrate that, they talk about that in their during their DSUs, the daily stand-ups. Let's come to the next value. So we have talked about the first value, commitment. Let's try to explore the next value, focus. What is focus? The primary focus is on the work of the sprint to make the best possible progress towards these goals. That's the focus of the team, that we will do our best. We'll make sure best possible efforts will be put to do the right progress towards these goals. That's the focus that no team is basically focusing on. And let's try to explore this value focus with respect to all these ceremonies. So we'll start with sprint planning. During sprint planning, Scrum team focus on specific product backlog item end to end, including estimates and decomposition before moving to the next product backlog item. So as I have told you, which I'll be discussing in detail again in the sprint planning session, the team picks up the stories from the product backlog, and until unless they finish one story, that includes decomposition of the story, understanding of the story, estimation of that story, until unless they finish that, they do not move on to the next story. So that's the team focus. Creating and agreeing on a sprint goal for upcoming sprints. That's a collaborative discussion within the Scrum team, product owner, Scrum master, and the development team. They collaboratively discuss and agree on the sprint goal. That's the team's focus. What else is a Scrum team's focus? This, and remember that I'm saying here Scrum team, which is a combination of product owner, Scrum master, and development team. So all of them, it's for a complete Scrum team. What is the focus? The third focus is the scope of the upcoming sprint and present a plan to SCM and product owner on how they are planning to achieve the sprint goal. So we talk about transparency, right? Wherein transparency can be provided when team is focused, that after understanding all the product backlog items and planning to move them one by one in the sprint backlog, while moving them they also present a detailed plan to SCM, the scrum master, and the product owner, and how they are planning to achieve the sprint goal by completing that particular product backlog item. And I have already talked about it, that it's required team for to decompose that product backlog item. The decomposition is nothing but explaining them that no, what all will be done to meet this or to complete this product backlog item. Utilizing available capacity for the team for upcoming sprint to avoid wastage. There is always a question about the velocity and the capacity. The team is focused on presenting that know what will be the available capacity of the team for the upcoming sprint, and how do we utilize, if not all, more than 90% of the capacity to take the product backlog items in the sprint backlogs. That way, there is no question from anyone about whether my team is utilized properly, what is happening to the capacity, what is happening to the velocity. So that's where team is focused on to provide or utilize the available capacity. If any capacity is left, they try to take the work from product backlog and try to pull it to the sprint backlog. So now this is what team focuses on from the sprint planning perspective, and it's important to understand for everyone that what are these focus areas. So now let's move to a DSU, the daily stand up, and see that what are the team's commitment for the daily stand up. During DSU, Scrum team is focused on reviewing and reprioritizing the remaining work in the sprint backlog to meet sprint goal. We'll discuss details, of course, but I think DSU, it's not only about talking about what I have done and what I'll be doing. So it's about what I have done and what is left. So work remaining. So team is focusing on the remaining work and reprioritizing that remaining work so that they can within the sprint also. What is the why are we reprioritizing? We are reprioritizing the remaining work so that whatever is the leftover or the remaining work, we find out what are the high priorities item on that and we take those first. So what would happen is even if we are not able to complete all the product backlog items committed in the sprint backlog, if you reprioritize like that every day, then only the lowest priority items may get spill over at the end of the sprint. So that's the reason team focuses on reviewing and reprioritizing the remaining work of the sprint backlog. Scrum Master is focused to understand impediments from the team and commit to resolve them ASAP so that there there are no more blockers pending with the team for so many days. Consider a scenario of 10 days sprint. A blocker or an impediment is waiting to get resolved for 4 days. How would team make progress on that? How would team be able to meet the sprint goal in that perspective in that manner? So that's the reason Scrum Master, if you are one of the Scrum Master listening to this video, then your focus should be to understand impediments and commit to resolve them as soon as possible, and also to create an environment of trust and respect. It may happen we talk about all those values, but during the course of the time, if you see that team is deviating from that environment of having trust, collaboration, respect with each other, then Scrum Master is responsible to create an environment of trust and respect within the team to protect the team from outside interference. The daily stand up is a call mainly for the Scrum team only, wherein product owner, Scrum Master, and the development team can attend the call. So, why do we say Scrum Master is focused to protect the team? Because if there is any other stakeholder who just want to see that know what's happening or get the status, in the rarest scenarios, they can come and attend the call, but its Scrum Master's job is to make sure that the team is protected. That means they can come as a listener if there are exceptionally, they need to come to the DSU. Otherwise, it's only for the Scrum team. But not interrupt the DSU because anyway, it's a time box for 15 minutes and we don't want to devote more time on that. Product owner is focused on to answer any functional queries by the Scrum team. There are many times seen that the daily stand-ups are not being attended by the product owner. No, product owner should be a part of it because when teams talks about the work done or remaining work, reprioritizing the remaining work, how good it would be that no product owner is also a part of the DSU. Even if there are no functional queries to be answered in the DSU, when team is reviewing and reprioritizing the remaining work, product owner can also help because he is the product domain expert. He can also help team reprioritizing the remaining work so that the highest priority items are completed first in this sprint. Let's try to see that know what focus means from the sprint refinement perspective or the grooming perspective. So during sprint refinement or grooming, Scrum team focuses to understand the requirements slash PBI from product owner and build good understanding to avoid any defects later. It is seen that no, again, if sprint refinement or the grooming, if all of us are not attending that, or if product owner is not present, if there are deviation, if it is not planned efficiently, then it's Scrum Master's job to make sure that everybody understand the value of the sprint refinement. Because the better you understand the story or the product backlog item, the lesser defects it will be there. So it is important that team focuses to understand. First of all, team focus to attend these sprint refinement ceremonies, and then focus to understand the details of the a product backlog item or the requirement that is being explained by the product owner. Ask relevant questions and clarify all the doubts, everything. And product owner is focused on clarifying all the questions and making sure team completely understand the work item. This is like a brain for Scrum. So, and it is must that no, we attend this, we focus to attend these meetings and these ceremonies, and we focus to understand and also ask all the relevant questions. And it is Scrum team focus to understand it, and its product owner focus is to make sure that team completely understand the work. The better understanding of the work will yield to a good quality product. So that's from the sprint refinement perspective. Let's see that, what is the focus on the sprint review or the demo. During sprint review, Scrum team is focused to hear and understand detailed feedback from stakeholders so that they can better implement it in next sprint. The focus should also be on listening while presenting your work increment to everyone. When the Scrum team together, it's a combination of product owner, Scrum, the development team, and the Scrum master. When they are presenting the work increment or the product increment to the stakeholders, the focus should also be on the listening. And it is important that it's not only listening, but document the detailed feedback from the stakeholder, because that may become one of the story for the upcoming sprint. So focus is to hear and document, understand the detailed feedback from the customers. What is the focus for the stakeholders? Stakeholders are focused to inspect the working increment. Inspect is a term that we have introduced in one of the previous video of the three pillars also, wherein we talked about the three pillars of transparency, inspection, and adaptation. Inspect the working agreement to see whether it's of good use for them, whether they are seeing whatever they were expecting to be seeing. Are they seeing that kind of working agreement? If not, then they are also focused to provide constructive feedback to the Scrum team. Remember that if you are one of the stakeholder, the ask here or the request here is provide constructive feedback. It should not be blame game that no, we are asked to do this, you have not done that. Provide a constructive feedback that yes, this is a good thing, that no, but I want it to be this way. So the team hears the feedback, document it, and pick it up in the upcoming sprint. What is product owner focused on? He is focused on discussing priorities for the upcoming sprint with all stakeholders to set up the agreement and expectation for the upcoming sprint. Most of the time, it's happening that sprint review is seen as only to see the working increment or to inspect the working increment or the product increment. But it's not only that. Most of the times, what we see is that after the working increment or the inspection is done, then the rest of the time product owner focuses on to present the product backlog to everyone and to tell them that what are the priorities for the upcoming sprint, including the feedback collected during the sprint review, so that everyone is clear that what can they see as an output of the upcoming sprint. So it's an agreement and expectation for the upcoming sprint which must be done. So product owner should be focused. If you are one of the product owner, job is not only to show the working increment but also to show everyone the product roadmap, how it is prioritized, what are the features, stories that you're planning for the upcoming sprint, and how they are going to add value to the working increment. The most valuable, as we say, product owner role is to maximize the value. So that way we'll be able to show how, as a product owner, you are able to show the maximize value by discussing these priorities for the upcoming sprint. So let's try to see what is our focus during the sprint retrospective. Scrum team focuses inspect the progress, inspection of the progress made on improvement items executed in the past sprint. Most of the time we've seen that sprint retrospective, okay, let's discuss, what are the opportunities for the improvement for the sprint that has just, passed on. But it's not only that, because if you want to make, and as for a Scrum Master, it is important to understand that if you want to make your sprint retrospective productive, that not only discussing the current sprint's opportunities for the improvement, but show them that what was the improvement items taken in the last sprint and what progress have been made for that. When team sees that yes, we are the improvement item that we are going to talk about in this sprint retrospective are going to be worked upon, and we'll be talking first about the progress made on the improvement items. They are focused on providing or discussing it openly to provide more opportunities for the improvement. So we have talked about focus, commitment, and focus. We have talked about two values. Let's move to the other value, courage. The Scrum team members have courage to do the right thing, to work on tough problem. All these values are interlinked. This courage is being developed when we are committed, focused, and I'll talk about all the other things like respect, openness, and trust. All these values are interlinked. But Scrum team members should have courage to do the right thing, even if it is to basically challenge the status quo and to work on the tough problems. Why? To make sure that the valuable product is produced to the end customer. So that's the courage which should be inculcated by the team. And let's try to see that, no, what are these when we are talking about courage, what is it with respect to all these ceremonies of this during DSU. Scrum team should have courage to openly present their view on estimates during the sprint planning. Sorry. During the sprint planning, the Scrum team should have courage to openly present their view on estimate, even if this doesn't match with anyone. So let's say it should not be that, no, somebody has estimated at 8 story point and somebody is estimating 2 story point. You should have courage to speak it openly that, no, I feel it 2 story point and here are my reasons for that. So that courage should be there. There should not be any fear that what would happen, oh, my story points are more or less rather than most of the team, what would happen. Nothing will happen. That's a collaborative call. If you feel that way, you are explaining the reasons, then we're talking, brainstorming, and coming to a conclusion together. So the team, if you are one of the team members listening to this video, you should have courage to openly present your view on the estimate. The most important, the Scrum team or the developers should have courage not to take those product backlog item which doesn't meet the definition of ready. If we have an agreement with the product owner wherein you say that, no, we will only take those items which meets the definition of ready, and if you are told to take one of the priority item which doesn't meet the definition of ready, you should have courage to talk in collaboration with the product owner that it is not meeting the definition of ready, so it would be difficult to put that in the sprint backlog. So that's the courage in terms of the sprint planning. Let's see what's the courage that we're talking about in terms of the daily stand up. Scrum team's courage to talk about impediments. And it's not only those impediments related to work. Even if those impediments are related to self skills, then they should have courage to say that, no, let's say I'm a UI developer and I've been told to do this and I need some help in this. My skills are not up to date on this. I need some help. Otherwise, this is an impediment for me that, no, I don't know this part of this so that I am not able to proceed ahead. So they should have courage, even if those impediments are related to self skills. And team should be there to help. Ask for the help. Until unless you talk about your the lack of skills that you have, how would you get help? So you should have courage to talk about that. Nobody is judging you in the DSU. Once you have that, that team commitment, you see that everybody is there to help, you should have courage to talk about the problems related to skills as well, to say daily work progress in front of everyone, even if someone is lacking in their planned work. It's seen most of the time that if it is about skills or if it is about, I'm lacking the work, team tries to hide it because everybody else has completed the work that they have talked about yesterday. It's okay, there might be some reasons that you are not able to do that work. So have that courage to talk about it, that I'm lacking, I was not able to complete this work because of these reasons and I need help. Until as we have courage to talk about the problems faced, how would we get help from the self-organized team? So that's basically the courage part from the DSU perspective. Let's see what is the courage needed from the sprint refinement perspective. In the sprint refinement, the Scrum team should have courage to ask the questions about the requirement from product owner. Because most of the time what we see is, oh, he's a part of the business team. Can I ask this question? Can I challenge him for the requirements written in the product backlog item? Yes, you can, because again, after all, we are talking about the collaboration between all the teams. And to talk about that, you should have courage to ask the right questions about the requirement. And also, if it is being suggested or you are presented a UI design or something like that as a part of that PBI, if you think that there are better ways to implement that requirement, you should have courage to suggest that to your product owner during the refinement, that there are better ways of doing it. And then again, coming back to product owner, he should be open to listening to those better ways to implement that requirement, which will be talking about the openness part of this value. Let's see what are the courage requirements from the sprint retrospective perspective. During the sprint retrospective, teams courage to talk about problems observed during the sprint in front of everyone, even if it's related to self skills. What we have seen is mostly some of the team members, whether they are the senior team members, they are the one only talking about problems or the improvement items or what to continue in the sprint retrospective. It is Scrum Master's job to make sure that everyone is contributing and fearlessly. They should have courage to talk about problems observed so that improvement items can be planned around that. It should not come from a specific stakeholders within the sprint retrospective. During a sprint review, product owners courage to not accept those PBIs which doesn't meet DoD. Remember we talked about the team's courage of not pulling those stories which are not meeting the definition of ready in the sprint review. It's a product owner courage, even though it's a team activity, right? We have a good relationship. Product, if you are the product owner, you should not be thinking about, that I have a good collaboration with the team. How can I not accept or reject these stories because it's not meeting the definition of done? No, you should have courage to not to accept those product backlog items which are not meeting the definition of done. And by doing that, you are inculcating a behavior in the team that before marking it ready for acceptance, they are going through the definition of done and making sure that it meets the definition of done. Scrum team should have courage in the sprint review to talk about blocked or spillover stories along with appropriate reasons. We talk about work increment, but sometimes we fear that no, if we present our view that we were not able to complete this work due to these blockers, or this work may get spilled over. So it's a courage and the transparency that no Scrum team should provide. Yes, we did our best. Remember that we talked about in the commitment area that we will do our best. We did our best, but still after that, these are the spilled over stories, and we have appropriate reasons to explain to them, to everyone in the sprint review. Nobody is judging you, so you should have courage to talk about openly, talk about those blockers, or why some of the work was not able to get done. And the other thing is that when there are some brainstorming sometime about the working increment, and if you think that you have a good point of view from the development perspective, then Scrum team should have courage to present that development viewpoint. That what is the development point of view to the relevant working increment. So you should have courage to talk about that. So till now we have talked about three values: commitment, focus, and openness. Sorry, commitment, focus, and courage. Let's now try to go to openness. The Scrum team and its stakeholders are open about the work and the challenges. Unless you are open, you will see now, all these values are linked to each other. Openness, commitment, focus, respect, courage, trust, and transparency. So you should be open to work and the challenges. And most of the items from the courage part also falls in the openness. So I am skipping that part and I have only highlighted which may or may not get covered. During the sprint planning, Scrum team is open to present their point of view during estimation. Be open about it, whatever you feel. Sometimes it may look like that, this PBI looks very small, two-story point, but I'm talking about eight-story point. So be open about it, because you are not just saying eight-story point, which is taking much more than anybody's expectation, but you are also providing reasons why you think so. So you should be open to talk about your point of view from the estimation perspective, even if it differs from everybody. Talk about it. You may have a valid reasons about it. During DSU, Scrum team is open to help each other, to talk about impediments faced, to share their daily work progress, even if it's not much is achieved. So you should be open about to helping each other. That when you are open, when team, everybody else see that you're open to help each other, that brings a team collaborative team or a self-organizing team, high-performing team together. Talk about your daily progress of the work, as we have discussed in the past, in one of the earlier slide as well. Even if you have not achieved much, because you may have valid reasons, so there is no need to hide about that. During sprint refinement, Scrum team is open to provide feedback on the product backlog item getting discussed with the product owner. If you think that it can be implemented the right way, or if you have questions that that product owner will have to go back and brainstorm on those questions, be open to provide that feedback. Do not accept it. If you have questions in the mind, if you have suggestions in the mind, be open to provide that feedback during the sprint refinement. Do not just accept it and start working on that. Sprint demo. During the sprint demo or the review, Scrum team is open to accept the feedback from stakeholders, even if it's different from what is documented in PBI. Sometimes it's seen that no, if the feedback is given during the sprint review, team just says, "Oh, this is what you have told us during the story. This is what is written in this story." It's okay. That was written in the story. Somebody was not able to think through that time, but when they see the working product, thoughts comes into mind. So if thoughts are coming into mind, which is basically not written in the product backlog item or the story that you have completed as part of the during the sprint, be open to accept the feedback, because in agile we say that no, we welcome challenges. So teams should be open to accept the feedback even if it's not meeting what you have written in the story. It's okay to create a new story and work on that in the current upcoming sprint as part of implementation of that feedback. During a sprint retrospective, Scrum team is open to accept feedback for improvements. The way that we have accepted the feedback for the sprint review, now is the time to openly accept the feedback for improvements, and it's without criticism. Because one may say that no, we want team to be not all the team members are collaborating and attending the sprint refinement. That is where we need to explain them again and again. Be open to it. Somebody is trying to help us by making that point in the sprint retrospective. So we should be open to accept feedback without criticism for the for the improvement items. So we have covered four values: commitment, focus, courage, and openness. Let's talk about respect. And as I said, all of these are links together. So respect. Scrum team members respect each other to be capable, independent people, and are respected as such by the people with whom they work. Respect is must. We should be respecting each other for their point of view. Collaboration environment should be there, and we should respect each other and create that working environment wherein everybody enjoys that working environment. Everyone respects time. So time is an asset. Time is an asset. It is very important for everyone to respect time of each other. And how can we do that? The Scrum has advised. That's the reason Scrum has advised to keep all these ceremonies time boxed. Run a timer. If you are always falling short of time, run a timer so that everybody sees that no, a 30 minutes meeting, 29 minutes left, 28 minutes left. And then please respect each other's time by start attending the ceremonies on time, because it's a time box event. If the DSU is a time box event for 15 minutes, if you are everyone is joining 5 minutes late, how can we keep it time box to 15 minutes? So that's where everybody should respect everybody's time. What is the other thing? Everybody respects the coaching guidance provided by Scrum Master and understand his role as a coach. His role is to provide the guidance wherever required. If one of the ceremony is not getting done right way, his job is to provide the guidance and why it should be done that way. So everyone should respect the coaching or the guidance provided by these Scrum Masters. That's part of the respect that should be coming through. Now let's see that no for each of the ceremony, what is that respect we're talking about. During sprint planning, product owner, if you are the product owner listening to this video, then product owner should respect team's point of view for estimates given and don't question or micromanage. Most of the time it's a question asked, oh, why it is taking in story point? I was thinking two story point. Come on, team is also providing you reasons, because we have talked about decomposition of those work items as well. So details are getting discussed about that product backlog item, why it's taking that much time. So as a product owner, you should respect, a Scrum team's point of view. Scrum team decision of not including a PBI. If there was a product backlog item that you as a product owner want team to work on during this sprint, but if it's not meeting the definition of ready, or if there are already some blockers, so if team is not taking that product backlog item in the sprint backlog, you should respect that decision as well. And as a Scrum team members respect each other's point of view during estimation discussion, even it's completely different from others. It will happen a lot of times that no, the six team members are providing six different estimates. It's okay. It's okay. Everyone have their point of view, which is getting discussed in detail. Why that? So it's okay to provide to have the different point of view, but the respect should not go away. So everyone should respect each other's point of view during the estimate, even if it's different from others. Let's see what is there in the DSU. Scrum teams respect each other and be ready to help and resolve their impediments. It's not only Scrum Master's job, right? Everybody is working on the silos. Let's say that no, you're working on your code for 4 hours. When you meet in the DSU and if somebody is talking about the impediment, it's not only Scrum Master's job to resolve the impediment. Respect each other and try to hear the impediment. If you can help, please be ready to help. So that's the respect that we are showing in the DSU. During the sprint refinement, product owner respects team's point of view and questions. He should not, because he should not be, again, that no, we eliminate the senior junior, we eliminate the business versus developer. You are one team. So even if questions are asked about the capability of that requirement or the functional requirements are being questioned, we should not take it otherwise. We should see that no team wants to is asking the question for the betterment of the product. So product owner should respect those teams' point of view and questions during that brainstorming in the refinement session. During the sprint demo, all the stakeholders respect team's point of view when presented during the demo and constructive feedback is provided. You may not like the working increment, but this is basically built on the basis of the stories or the product backlog item provided or the understanding of the development team. It's okay, please respect their point of view for whatever the working increment was presented during the demo. They have a reason that no that they have come up with that kind of a working, even if it's working increment, even if it's not meeting your expectation. So stakeholders respect team's point of view is necessary. If you are one of these stakeholders listening to this, that is what the respect comes from. The Scrum team respects stakeholder feedback. So it's like give and take. The stakeholder respect, and they respect when they know that team has done their best to produce this working increment, even if it's not meeting an expectation. I respect team point of view, and similarly now teams respect stakeholders' feedback and accept it without criticism, even if work is done as per PBI. Let's say we have done everything for as per the product backlog item or the details provided. And if it is not meeting the expectation of the stakeholders, they are providing some feedback. So as a Scrum team, we will accept it without criticism. We'll create another story or the product backlog item and we'll start working on it in the upcoming sprint. During sprint retrospective, everyone is in the team respect point of view presented by others, and any improvement item is presented in a constructive way without pointing fingers to each other. There are different ways of making that statement that what should be improved, but we need to make sure that we suggest that improvement item in such a way which is constructive so that people do not feel that they are being pointed out. So the respect is being shown in the retrospective, that by saying everything whatever is needed to basically make it work, but to make it work, provide a constructive feedback. And all these values that we have discussed, commitment, focus, openness, respect, and courage, when these values are embodied by the Scrum team and the people they work with, then the empirical Scrum pillars of transparency, inspection, and adaptation comes to life. And what do this build? So we have talked about in this video and the earlier video about three pillars, which is transparency, adaptation, inspection, all the five values: commitment, focus, openness, respect, and courage. This is for what? So if we are following everything, then it's building the trust, which is the major foundation of a high performing team. So, in order to build the trust, it is necessary that we understand those three pillars. We understand these five Scrum values, because trust is a foundation of agilism needed at all levels. And how do we demonstrate trust? During sprint planning, product owner trusts Scrum team that they have provided best estimates and doesn't question the estimates. That's the trust. Scrum team trusts product owner that he has chosen the right priorities to create maximum value. That's the trust that we are showing to each other. During DSU, if during DSU, it may happen many times that no during the sprint, what happens that no team find out that one particular product backlog item cannot be worked upon. Either it's a change in strategy or it's a blocker, then they trust that when they go and discuss with their product owner, they will be able to negotiate about that committed PBI or the product backlog item in the sprint log backlog. Of course, they'll provide the reasons, but there's a trust between the developers and the product owner that when they discuss all the reasons, all the valid reasons, then they negotiate the work during the DSU. That shows the trust between these within the Scrum team, between the product owner and the developers. During a sprint review, stakeholders should trust that team has done their best to meet the sprint goal. As I've talked about, even if you're not meeting the expectation, because when we think about the requirement and when we see the working product, there may be a difference. But stakeholders, if you're one of these stakeholders listening to this video, then you must trust that team has done their best to meet the sprint goal. During retrospective, Scrum team trust each other and provide constructive feedback openly and trust that no one will take it personally. That's the trust. So trust being the major building block. If you follow all the three pillars of transparency, inspection, and adaptation, if we follow all the five values that we have talked about, that builds trust. And trust is the major foundation of a high performing team. If one value is affected, if any one of the value is affected, then all the values are affected. So it's important that before even we go and deep dive to these sprint ceremonies, that we understand what are the pillars, what is the foundation of the agile. That's what I wanted to explain in this video. Thank you.